How is everyone?
Great. How are you?
Good. Any requests?
I have no idea.
That's all good. We'll just flow
Something
then.
comforting. How's that sound?
It's a full moon, so we're going to do a little moon salutation stuff for sure.
Oh, yay. Okay.
So, all right. And if anybody else wants anything, feel free to put it in the chat box. Good to see you all. Whoops. Okay, cool. Ooh. It is already almost February. Can you believe it? Crazy. Tonight, we're going to start out lying down. So taking your time, making it onto your back. Feeling free to keep your knees bent. If your back is a little tight, you're welcome to use a bolster. Or if it feels okay, go ahead and take your feet to the end of the mat. Rolling those shoulder blades underneath you. Start to focus in on that breath. Feeling the chest rise, the abdomen rise. On that inhale and on that exhale, letting it fall. Feeling that release. Tonight is a full moon. So we're going to do a full moon practice. Usually on full moons, it's about releasing anything that is not serving us, anything we're holding on to. Sometimes my things releasing control of things I have no control over. So as you think about that full moon, also set that intention around what you want to release tonight. Deepening the breath and warming the back of the throat. That I can't even pronounce that today. Warming the back of the throat, you're Darth Vader. It'll come to me later, I promise. More breaths, letting that breath be louder than your mind, focusing on that inhale and exhale. And then we're going to seal our intention with our cleansing breath, keeping our body nice and relaxed. Taking a deep inhale, 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 holding it at the top. And exhale out of the mouth. 2 more. Maybe sticking out the tongue if you want. Exhale out of the mouth. One more. Beautiful. Slowly start to walk those knees up and bringing them into the chest, wrapping those hands around the shins, pulling the knees in. Gently giving yourself that hug. Maybe peeling that head up, stretching the chin to chest, forehead to the knees, and lowering it back down. Couple more breaths. And releasing your hands down in cactus. Let your body start to circle those knees around one way, whichever way it calls to you. And switching directions. And coming to center and start to drop those knees over to that left side. Maybe using that left hand to pull the knees down, looking over that right arm. If it feels good, stretch it out. The dude says hi. He has to make his daily appearance. Go lay down. Go lay down. 2 more breaths, pulling that belly button to the spine on the exhale. And lifting those knees up, hands come back into that cactus, that football. Little goal. Circling the knees and then going the opposite direction. Then dropping them over to the right side. Left arm comes out. And coming back to center, knees come into the chest again, giving yourself that hug. And then lowering those feet down, knees are up, hands come down by our sides, palms down, inhale. Those hips up into that supported bridge. Two more breaths. And slowly lowering it down one vertebrae at a time. Lifting up that right leg. Rotate that ankle a couple times. And then taking that right ankle onto that left knee, reaching through. They're onto the shin of the back of your thigh and pulling those knees towards your body. Few breaths here. Releasing, placing that foot down, that ankle stays on to that knee, hands come down by sides, palms down, lift the hips up. And slowly lowering it down. Placing that right foot down onto the mat, now left foot lifts up, circling it around. And then placing that ankle onto that right knee, pulling it through, going where you did on that opposite side, figure 4, pulling those hips towards you, stretching it out here, breathing into that left hip. 2 more breaths, pulling a little bit more, using those biceps here, stretching that hip and then lowering that foot down. Hands come down by our sides, palms down, lifting the hips up for a moment. Stretching that left hip here. My left hip is not as open. And then slowly lowering it all the way down. Both feet come onto the mat. Inhale those hips up again for our supported bridge. Two more deep inhales and exhales. And slowly lowering it down. Knees come up and taking our hands back behind our thighs. Start to roll it up and down a few times on the spine. Seeing if you could lock it into that boat. Playing with some ab work here. You can keep those hands on the backs of the thigh, keep the knees bent or straighten your legs. You want to challenge yourself a little bit. Hands come out. Using those abs to hold you up here. And holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Soles of the feet come together, dropping those knees out for our cobbler's pose. Getting both booty bones onto that mat. Roll those shoulder blades back. Your hands come on your feet. If you're able, start to rotate those knees a little bit closer to the mat. Spine is straight. Engaging that Mula Bandha, those Kegel muscles. Breathing up from the base of the spine. If you're able, start to open up those feet, almost like you're reading a book here. And if that brings those knees a little bit closer. If you want to take those elbows and push onto those legs, that feels okay, feel free. Start to do some neck rolls. Move that jaw. Couple more breaths here. And start to walk it back or bringing that spine more straight, grabbing onto your big toes, seeing if you could balance onto your glutes here between the bone, the booty bone, and the end of the spine. So getting that balance. If it feels okay, maybe lifting one leg up, if you're able to straighten it. Engaging those abs, try lifting that other one up. And holding it here for 3 more breaths. Slowly bringing the soles of the feet back together, dropping them down. Beautiful. Both knees come together, pulling them in, walking those heels as close as you can to your body, wrapping those arms around, curling into a tiny ball. Inhale, lifts the head up, straightening that left leg. That right knee's in. You want to play with a bind here. Taking that right hand, reaching it forward. Reach around that leg. That left hand comes around. Sometimes I need to use my strap. So if you want to grab your strap to play with a bind, Feel free to grab that strap. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. So using that strap if you need to get that bind, or get your hands closer, and then start to open that left shoulder up. Two more breaths. And releasing, letting that right knee fall out. Walking over that left leg. Folding over, feeling that stretch in that hamstring. And then walking it up. Rotate that right arm back behind you. Inhale that left hand up, coming onto that shin. Stretching from that fingertip to toe. And slowly dropping it down. Bringing both knees back into the chest. Wrapping those arms around, curling that belly button to spine. Chin to chest, almost like you're doing that cat. And forehead to the knees. Inhale, bringing it up. Reaching that right leg forward. If you want to play with that bind again, either hold that knee here, or if you want to play with the bind, reach that left arm forward and bringing it around. That right arm reaches around your back. Grab that. Using that strap, start to create that muscle memory. And pretty soon you'll be like, oh my God, my fingers are touching. And this is kind of hard for me because of having the mastectomy, so I'm getting there. I can almost touch my fingers. So rolling that right shoulder back. Opening it up here, breathing, trying to keep that right leg engaged. Two more breaths. And slowly releasing that bind, letting that left knee fall out. Walking it forward, stretching that right hamstring, folding over your right leg. Two more breaths. And slowly start to walk it up. Bring that left hand back behind you. Lifting it up, right hand reaches up and over, feeling that stretch. Slowly bringing it back down. Both knees come in again. Giving yourself that hug. Bringing our hands back behind us, fingertips point towards our body, getting ready for our reverse tabletop. Inhale, lifting those hips up. If this is too much, you can always straighten those legs. Actually, I don't know what's easier, actually. Bending the knees might be a little bit. Holding it here. One of my previous yoga teachers used to always say, imagining having a tray of margaritas. Holding it here. Engage those glutes, lifting the hips a little bit more. 2 more breaths. And slowly lowering it down, bringing those knees to the side, making it into tabletop. Stretch that shoulder, those shoulders. Let's do our right one first. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, underneath that left. Left arm walks around for that opposite hip. Playing with a little bit of a bind again. Left arm comes around, pushing you back up. Switching, taking that left arm out to the side, exhale it underneath that right. Again, take that bind. That right arm reaches around for that opposite hip. Right hand comes around, pushing you up, making it into that tabletop cat-cow. Going through 2 more. And then meeting in that neutral back. Gonna tuck our toes, hips up, downward dog. Walking our dog, if that feels good. Or you could shift your hips to one side or the other, doing what feels good. Inhale brings that right leg up. Exhale, bringing it through into that lunge. Holding it here for a moment. And taking your hands up to crescent, reaching it up. Maybe dropping it down a little bit, getting into that hip. Taking one more breath here. And we're going to take that left knee, dropping it down behind that right. Maybe a foot, foot and a half. Sometimes if you need to, you could take a little bit of a space to hold your balance. Otherwise, try to line it up to challenge yourself a little bit. Scissoring those inner thighs. Hands come together, pointer comes out. We're going to dive over chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Hands can come on each side for stability. Holding it here, a couple more breaths, saluting that moon. And slowly walk those hands back together. Inhale, brings them up. Exhale, releasing cactus. Bringing our hands all the way back behind us. Interlacing. Engage those glutes, push the hips forward and pull those hands down. Releasing, inhale those hands up. Hands frame that front foot. Tucking that back knee up. And we're gonna place our weight in our front foot, left foot kicks up. Holding it here, 3 breaths.
Slowly lowering it down next to that right, forward. Cycling the knees, tracing our body all the way up. Hands reach through heart center. Exhale back. Inhale, reaches up. Hands come together. Pointer comes out. Reaching our hands up, over to the right, hips out to the left. Two more breaths. And exhale, opposite side. Exhale, hands spread wide, swan diving forward. Hands come all the way down, inhale, halfway up. Curl it into our power ball. Hips up, dropping those heels, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, our hands come down, jump or step back, high plank. Holding it here, 3 breaths. And taking a chaturanga. Downward dog. Walking it out. Chest drops through, shaking that head. Next inhale brings that left leg up. Exhale, bring it through gently. Getting that face. And inhale, hands up, crescent. Sinking down into that hip, feeling that stretch in the front of the right. Thigh right here. Breathing. Two more breaths. Hands come together. Slowly dropping that knee down. And that left shin squeezes to the chest. Diving it down. Maybe those hands come apart. Mine have to right now. My balance is a little off. Squeezing that chin to chest, forehead to the knee for 2 more breaths. Start to walk those hands back to that oblique apart. Inhale. Reach those hands up. Exhale, cactus. Dropping them down, back behind us. Interlacing. Engage those glutes, scissoring those inner thighs. Pull those hands down towards the mat. Engage that Mula Bandha. Couple more breaths. And releasing, inhale, hands come back up. Exhale, framing that front foot, tucking that back knee up. Weight comes to that front foot, lifting up that right. Slowly lowering it down. Forward fold. Two more breaths. Cycling the knees, tracing our bodies all the way up, hands reach through. Heart center, exhale, back bend. Inhale, back up, hands come together. Half moon again, hips, hands to the right, hips to the left. Or if you did the opposite, no big deal, switch it up. Doing those micro adjustments if you need, maybe spreading those toes, engaging those thighs. Abs, shifting the hips a little bit, making sure that you're nice and straight. Beautiful, inhale and up. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale and up. Releasing those hands, swan diving it down. Hanging here in a forward fold for a moment. Releasing that lower back, maybe even bending the knees if you need to bounce. If that feels good. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale into a power ball. Heels drop, hips up, inhale, half a lift. Exhale, our hands come down, bending those knees, jumper step back, high plank. 3 breaths. And chaturanga. Dropping it down onto those knees, pushing it back for a child's pose. Forehead comes down onto the mat. And hands can either stay forward or you can bring them down by your side. Releasing again, surrendering. Your hands are back, bringing them forward. Looking up at those hands, dropping on those arms like you're pushing that marble with your nose. Coming through into that cobra or baby cobra. Beautiful, slowly lowering it down. And we're going to snake it back up. 2 more. Last one, holding it at the top and bend those knees. Push it back into tabletop. Cat. Or if it feels better, maybe you want to circle those hips. You want to do a little bit of both. Static, tucking those toes, hips up, down. Next breath brings that right leg up. Exhale, bringing it through into lunge. Inhale up into crescent. Exhale, bringing it into our goddess pose. Or moon poses also sometimes it's called. Holding it here. More breaths. we're gonna shift it over to the left side. See if you can hold it. Press it. Shifting it into that goddess, sinking down. Shifting it into that right. Press it. Floating here. Moving with your breath. One more. Leaning with that right leg forward. Our crescent. Two more breaths. Hands come down, framing that front foot. Weight comes to that right foot, left foot kicks in. Slowly lowering it down next to that right forward foot. Second in the knees, tracing our body all the way up. Hands reach for heart center. Exhale, lion. Inhale. And stretching the swan, diving it forward. Inhale, halfway. Hands down, bending those knees, jump or step back, hold close. Downward dog. Holding it here. Left leg comes up. Bring it through. Into that crescent, inhaling it up. Holding it here for a moment. We're going to do that flow again. Bring it into goddess. Shaking it down, switching to that right side. Switching. Flowing here. One more. Beautiful. Kneeling on that left side, holding it here in that crescent. Hands come down, framing that front foot. We take that right foot up, south. Bring it up for a moment, then bring it down. If not, we do the extra stretch. Inhale. Sliding the knees, tracing our bodies all the way up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, hands to the bottom. Let's guide it down. Halfway left. Taking a power ball for a moment. Hips up. Halfway left. Hands come down, bending those knees. Jump or step back, high plank. Holding it here, 3 breaths. Taking that chaturanga. And bringing those knees wide. Hips come back for a peaceful warrior. Again, releasing anything here. If you need to take a drink or anything, feel free. Meet me back in that peaceful warrior. And looking up at those hands, like you're pushing that marble up and through to that wide-legged dog. And maybe sink in on each side of your hip. Going that stretch. Roll the shoulder blades back. Lift it up. Toes come together and then placing them down, hip width distance apart, hips up, downward dog. Inhale, that right leg comes up. Exhale, bring it through into that lunge. Pivoting that back foot to be parallel. And we're feeling those hands up for our warrior two. Hands come out. Palms up or down, whatever feels better to you, looking over, up front head. Zipping up that center, 3 more breaths. Straightening that front leg, letting that left hand drop down, right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, back to center. Shift the left hip back. Reach that right hand forward, bringing it either onto the floor, ignition, left hand looks up. Two more breaths. Inhale, reaches those hands back up, pivoting that right foot, that front foot, be parallel to that left. We take our hands back behind us. Interlacing, roll the shoulder blades back, opening up that chest. Look up for a moment. Taking that dive down. If you feel like you can lift those arms up, feel free. Otherwise, if it feels better to keep them down, do so. Let that head hang heavy. And release those hands down onto the mat. You can place those palms down, maybe bring the palms down if you want those hands through. Reach for the outside of your feet. Wherever you feel comfortable with the stretch. Few breaths here. Hands come down. Inhale, halfway left. Beautiful. That left hand down. Reach that right hand back. Slowly bringing it down, moving with that breath. Left hand comes up. Trying to stack those shoulders. 2 more breaths. Slowly bringing those hands down. Walk that way over to that right foot. Dropping the hip down onto that heel. I heard this is called a surfer's lunge. I don't know. As I heard it, I was taking this class online, and that's what she called it. Forgot what we call it here. Anyways, foot can be down or up, your choice. Maybe play with that balance. Engaging. Move the Bandha. Holding it here. 3 more breaths. Hands come down, taking that weight over to that left side. Same thing. Play with where where you want to put that right foot up in front of the mat. Play with that balance again. Or keep your hands down if that's more stabilizing for you. Slowly bringing those hands down. Hips come back up, shifting that weight back and forth. And start to walk those hands to the front of the mat, pivoting them back. And lunge on that right side. Weight comes to that right foot, left foot kicks up. If you want to play with that candy cane, then that top knee. And left hand stays down, right hand reaches up for that foot. Slowly releasing. Forward fold. Side bend in the knees, tracing our bodies all the way up, hands reach through heart center. Exhale back down. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, dive it down. Forward. Hands come down, jumper step back, high plank. Chaturanga. Downward dog. Deep breaths in your downward dog. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, bringing it through into that lunge, pivoting back foot to be parallel. Windmill those hands up. Warrior two, sinking into it on that left side. Get on that feminine side here. Raise your breath. Go into your edge. And straightening that front leg, dropping that right hand, left hand reaches up and over. Bring it back to center. Shift those right hips back. Reach that left hand forward, bringing it down. Trying to stack those shoulders. Inhale brings us back up. Lift toes, bring forward. Hands down. Or on our sides, roll those shoulders back. Couple breaths. And feeling that strength, maybe lifting those toes up, placing one down at a time. Feel that grounding. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, fold. Whatever feels good here, maybe the hands are in the elbow creases and you're shifting that weight back and forth. Creating some movement. Maybe you're static. Stretching here, reaching for the outside of your feet. Your practice. Maybe you're playing with that headstand. Maybe adding in an affirmation for this. My age has no power over me. Couple more breaths. And hands come down, inhale halfway. Exhale. Bringing it down. Flowing here, 2 more. Inhale halfway. Exhale. Slightly the knees, walking it forward onto that left side. Weight comes to that left foot, right foot kicks in. Holding it here if you practice that candy cane. Right hand stays down, left hand reaches back. Slowly releasing it back down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands come down, bending those knees. Jump or step back, high plank. Holding it here. One more breath. And slowly taking that chaturanga, last one. And lowering it down onto the mat, either ear down. Bend those knees, circling those feet around. Switching directions. Okay, well, that eye gaze comes up, reaching for those ankles. If that's not within your practice, go ahead and do your superhero. Otherwise, taking that floor bow, taking a deep inhale. Exhale out all of that stale air. And then start to kick into those hands. Going to your edge for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering it down. Releasing those feet. Opposite ear on that mat. Those feet again, circling or windshield wiper those feet back and forth. And slowly making it onto one side or the other for fetal position. Taking your time, making it onto your back.
Knees stay bent. We're gonna do another supported bridge, or if wheels in your practice, feel free to do your wheel. Inhale those hips up into that supported bridge. Let's do some breath of fire here. Deep inhale. Exhale. Slowly lowering those hips down, reaching both those feet up and reaching through for the outside of your feet for our happy baby. And whatever feels good in your happy baby, you're rocking it, straightening one leg, whatever feels good. And slowly bringing those feet together, knees come together, giving yourself that hug, chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Releasing it down. And slowly releasing that left leg. Maybe you're taking it straight, taking it down super slow. Working on your abs on that left side. Maybe even holding that left heel above the mat for a little bit, stretching that heel like you're stomping the wall, and then slowly lowering it down. Playing with bringing that right knee a little bit closer towards the center. Maybe walking those hands down a little bit, pulling that knee in. Slowly releasing, left hand comes to that right knee, guide it over your body, reach that right arm out. Bringing it back in, both knees come to the center. Chin to chest, forehead to the knees, squeezing tight. And releasing it down, bringing that right leg up. And slowly start to bring it down. With control. Maybe holding it for a moment above the mat. And then bringing it down. 2 more breaths, squeezing it in. And releasing anything else here, and then release that grip. Right hand comes to that left knee, guiding it over your body. And reach that left hand out. My cat has the biggest energy, I swear. She walks into a room, I know she's coming before she's even here. I'm like, who's that energy? Like, it's huge. And it's my cat all walking in, all badass. 2 more breaths. And slowly releasing it onto your back. If you have any last pose, anything else that's calling you, feel free to do that now. Otherwise, releasing it in to our final Shavasana. Shoulder blades tuck under, hands fall out to the side. Doing that body scan, seeing if there's any areas that's calling for your breath, calling for that prana. I'll leave you with a reading. It's January 28th. I have to come into the light so I can see. All right, January 29th. Right to release. One of the best ways to clear your head mentally and emotionally is to write down your thoughts. The writing doesn't have to be beautiful, precise, or even clear. Think of what writing is as a candid conversation you are having with yourself that will enable you to reveal and release any upsetting thoughts or mental clutter. Today, try releasing something that is troubling you with a quick 5-minute writing session. Write anything, anytime, first thing in the morning, during work breaks, or before bed. Write without censorship, write without fixing spelling or grammar. The point is to draw thoughts, feelings out of your body and mind to release them onto the page. The practice of writing to release is like taking a mental shower so that your day and your sleep become cleaner and clearer. That is fitting for tonight's full moon. I recommend doing a full moon ritual to release anything else that you might want to hold on to. I often do a goddess bath is what I call it, or a god bath for you guys. From my heart to yours, from the love in me to the love in you. Have an amazing week. Namaste. Bye guys, love you.